Okay, well, he's getting some good advice lately. Let's dig into more of this be a man about it energy for the divine masculines, okay? Because I'm hearing someone tell them, I just admit that you took her for granted, because that's really what it boils down to. You know, you didn't recognize a good thing in front of you. In Trinidad, we like to say you play the ass, right? You ended up being the ass in the situation, and you got to just chalk it up to mistakes. Somebody's trying to teach them how to take ownership of their pride, their ego. I feel like whoever this older gentleman is, definitely, again, like I mentioned in the last reading, very old school. Like, they can't understand why your divine masculines didn't make major moves or why they would play games. The realization here as well that your masculines are having is that, like, they maybe took on more of a feminine role in the connection, and somebody old school is pointing this out to them. Like, what do you mean waiting on her to text you? What kind of shit is that? Call her. Pick up the phone and call her. So he's I hate to say this because I hate the way it sounds for men, but it's like this tail between their legs where it's like, oh, like this feeling of I made a mistake, or you know, when you're getting scolded, and I think that's how I mean it. I don't mean it disrespectfully, but you know how dogs are kind of like when they do something wrong and you call them out on it and they just, you know, get into this innocent place. I feel like that is the look on his face right now as he is recalling his movements with you. And I don't know why I'm picking up on this, but they're like having these little flashbacks of how they would try to put themselves in a position to have you chase them or court them. And I feel like now that they're having these conversations with this mature man, it's like this cringe or ick feeling of like, how could I not have been a man? Like, let me come by, let me take you out, let me see you. Like, another big thing I'm getting is like, how you not gonna stand on your word? How you gonna tell her you're gonna meet and then you cop out? At least if you're gonna cop out, slide her a text, right? Damn, tell her the iguana got sick, you had to take the iguana to the vet. Something, right? Accountability. That's what a man does, right? Because I feel like your divine masculines don't understand why it is you shut the door, and an older man is explaining to them that, like, she's turned off, right? You thought this was gonna make her chase you? What the ass wrong with all your man today? Right? Somebody older could be hearing like some of the things that you guys have gone through with your divine masculines. I feel like we're going to tap into the cards, guys, and see where his current energy is and just see some of the things that he is being told to work on, okay? And one of them is definitely admit that you took her for granted. You were an idiot. You messed up. This is something that he could have been avoiding for a really long time, and I feel like this is someone who hasn't made any efforts to reach out because they're in a stuck place, or maybe they're waiting for communication from you, even as some kind of like not red light, but green light, as like some kind of go ahead. But somebody's telling them like, why would you wait on that for a woman? You're going to be waiting your whole life. Okay, and again, he showed someone your picture and they are just baffled. Like, I see an older gentleman who's like, get out of here, or they might like literally flick his phone out of his hand or get up and leave the coffee table, or do you know what I mean? Like, he could be the joke of a bunch of older men. And the reason I feel like he's chatting or talking to these older men is because they either could be married or have spent years being married, and they're definitely men that he really looks up to in a way. So I'm going to see, like, what is he being told or guided to work on? What is some of the advice he's being told in terms of moving forward and just being a man about it, okay? So they definitely recognize you, Divine Feminine, as a beautiful feminine energy. And again, with this card, I do feel like he's showing someone your picture, or I'm getting memento, so he could be showing someone a collection of things that he has of like your journey together, or I'm just getting really heavily photos of you, and he's like the joke of the lunch table right now. Like, how could you mess that up? Or like his courting ritual, or the fact that like people could be asking him, right, hey, so what's going on with that pretty lady of yours? And now that he's catching people up on what's going on, I feel like some of the major advice he's getting is the courage to change his behavior, change his ways. Somebody feels like they really thought that they had it Right. Like this is what you do. You try to play games, you get a woman hooked, you know what it was? Like it was like getting caught up in really toxic cycles. Someone is learning to think for themselves. I feel like this masculine is a product of really unhealthy environments when it came to how others treated women, and now that he is around other people that he either looks up to or would even consider seeking advice from, now he's getting the healthy version of how to be, how to operate, what to do. Because I feel like somebody is literally in this energy. It's like, what do I do? How do I fix this? Because it's affecting me. Remember, I told you guys back in some readings ago, like when they're at work or when they wake up in the morning, you're on their mind. Remember when I did a slew of readings that said like, you're on my mind this morning? Well, they're heading to work, and people at work were starting to notice, right? Like, you're off, what's going on? You're not focused on the job. And that's how these connections started with these older men, because I mean, I feel like in your masculine's work environment, he's really boss at what he does, right? So if he's off his game, like maybe like his boss might notice, or some people around him, mentors, they might know, and they can't let that happen because he's a boss at what he does at the job, right? So they might kind of intervene and be like, how can we help him out? So that's the vibe that I'm getting, is like, listen, when you're dealing with a woman like that, honesty, integrity, right? That you gotta really be a man. You gotta be vulnerable. You gotta straight up tell her, okay, I was wrong. I was wrong for that. How can I make you feel safe again? And it's so foreign to your divine masculine listening to this kind of stuff, because he's been brought up in an environment where it's like, you don't respect women, you're superior to them, you have the last say. And he's really having this like pivotal moment where like, I've really got to change and have the courage to be a better man. Ooh, I love that, divine feminine. And it could be a mixture of like your energy here and everything that they know about you, just kind of word of mouth through your divine masculine stories, or the fact that he just might be bugging over this connection. And I feel like he wants to do better. That's the vibe that I'm getting through this energy here, is that the reason he's bringing it up is that he wants to do better for himself. Someone wants to change for you. Okay, and you set the tone by walking away from this, by giving him that feeling of your absence. Like, look at that distance and retreat card here wanting to come out. This distance, retreat, or time out. You fully stood in your power in this distance and space. You didn't mimic any of the other energies that he was used to by giving him what he wanted, chasing, getting caught up in the toxic cycles. I feel like whoever you are, divine feminine, it's like, I dare you to speak to me like that again. I dare you. What did you just say to me? So something about that turned him on as well. You know, that's why I feel like he is in hot water. Something about you makes him feel like, wow, that's a beautiful woman in control of herself and her life. You really do sit on your own throne as well, divine feminine. And I feel too like somebody really did try to come in and test the waters around that area. You know, like maybe you were sitting on your throne and he wanted to see if he could, you know, maybe come in there and tempt you off of there, give him the crown, let him reign control, right? You were like, I'm the captain of this, bitch. Step off, right? Oh, you bullies, get out of my way, because I really ticked a hoe. For that's from School of Rock, where he's like, step off. But that was your energy, like, excuse me? And I think that was the moment where he's like, oh shit, I effed up. Because you went cold, divine feminine. You maintained this distance. Like, I don't deal with that stuff. No, absolutely not. Yes, you're attractive, charming, well endowed. But yeah, no, around that stuff, I can't tolerate it. Okay, I got too much going on to mess it up and to be dealing with games. And I mean, you might have hit him with that. Okay, and all of this energy went down the window because this is how he's used to operating and getting women hooked. Right? Because he's used to operating with these women who are very like trauma focused, you know? It's like stringing them along and playing games and then leaving them in that heartbreak energy and then having them crave, you know, answers and, oh my God, like, where are you? Why aren't you answering my calls? Divine feminines, you were like, oh no, you didn't, boy. Blocked. Popcorn popping, cup of tea, glass of wine, I don't know, however you guys do your thing. Episode of Little House on the Prairie, Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman. That's my style. Some of you just did your thing like, boy, please don't. Okay, and these are some of the things as well, again, that he could be sharing. Like, why wouldn't she reach out by now? Somebody's like, hold on. What do you mean reach out? a woman like that, you showed us her picture. You're not getting no callback. You got to be a man about it and do something big. Put on a show. And your divine masculines are there really dwelling on it. Okay, you're their wish fulfillment. Somebody's telling them don't F it up, okay? This could be like a work environment where men just talk however it is they want to talk. This could be also too where it's like he just hangs out with these men that he trusts. And I feel like the biggest advice that they're getting right now is don't let this slip through your fingers. This is a woman you want to be vulnerable with. Tell her you're wrong 100 times, right? You fulfill all of his wishes, divine feminine. You're a wish fulfillment in every single way. And not only does he know this, but he's had it confirmed by showing off the little collection of stuff that he has of you. I'm hearing that he brags and he boasts about you as well. Okay, and that's why people are telling him, listen, smarten up. He could have already messed this up and somebody was like, listen, I told you that was going to happen. I told you not to play with a woman like that. A woman like that probably got lots of shit going on. But I feel like this is a masculine, again, who, I mean, they're not really used to women saying no, right? And believe me, divine feminine, they've been with women who, maybe mimic the energy of like very successful, have a lot of money, have a lot of independence. But you got a pride about yourself, mama. You got an ego about yourself, okay? You would rather do without than ever have a man step to you in any which type of way. Like, no, I am sorry, sir. We don't need anything to warm our bed, okay? I got cats. I got a dog, okay? I ain't looking for nothing to warm my bed. Sorry, sir. So that's the kind of energy that you carry, which is why you have the ability to be that Queen of Swords, right? So, yeah, he is just sitting there listening, okay? Somebody's getting prepared to tell you, listen, I was stupid. I was arrogant. I took you for granted, right? But were you going to shut me out like this? I need a second chance. Let me see you again. Okay, what are you doing tomorrow? Okay, so this is the kind of stuff that he's going to be coming with, okay? Not the in and out and the emoji text and the question mark and, the slew of fake text to let you know he's coming your way. Like, no, baby, it's got to go. All right, I love you guys. I'll catch you in the next check-in.